Hi, and welcome back to Joey's Garage. Today I got a special guest with me, Miss Madison Trucker. He's my brother, James Snell. He has a very unique job that I think you guys would get a kick out of, so I'm going to talk to him, ask him a few questions, and we'll go from there. What is an unlimited hydroplane exactly?
Well, an unlimited hydroplane is basically a wing on water. It runs off the T-55 Chinook helicopter engine, producing about 3,000 horsepower. Get up to speeds about 200 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I just drive a truck. I don't drive a boat.
What team are you part of, and why did you choose that team over the others?
I drive for the Miss Madison Unlimited Hydroplane Racing Team, based out of Madison, Indiana, owned by the citizens of Madison, Indiana. And growing up in Madison, obviously, been watching since I was real little. Know the history about it, and that's just always been my team.
So the citizens of Madison, they own their own race boat. I believe that it was the 1970s that they got into racing. It was donated to the community, and then from there, through sponsorships, through money that was raised through the citizens of Madison, they built new boats. What do you do for that team?
I drive the truck driver, driving to the race sites and back to the shop. Basically, once I get to the race sites, I help set up the pits, get the boat set, just basically, and help wherever needed with the team, whatever needed done.
So
basically a gopher for the weekend.
I couldn't imagine that it's like taking the bass boat down, unloading it off of the back of the bass, off of the trailer and into the water, and jump on it and away you go.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot more to it.
Oh yeah.
What kind of things do they do? I know you can't really get into all the details, but what does it entail to set a boat like that up?
Basically, when you get there, you gotta, separate the uprisers and set the wing and put the skid fit on, and hook all the wires and hoses up for the turbine, gearbox. You set up the tents. Anything else that needs to be done.
So what kind of fuel does that kind of a boat run? Is it like a kerosene or jet fuel?
Yeah, it's
racing fuel.
Yeah, it's basically a jet fuel.
Yeah. So you can't just go and fill it up with gas and away you go.
No.
What kind of truck do you drive for them?
Basically, it's just a simple box truck, day cab, and it's a Freightliner. I don't really remember what year, but
right.
Yeah.
And that one's kind of unique because it's kind of a hybrid between a manual transmission and an automatic.
It's got a clutch in it, even though it's an automatic. Basically, the only thing the clutch is for stopping and going. It's different.
I know the boat weighs approximately 7,000 pounds and a little over 3,000 horsepower. You have all kinds of equipment in the back. I think you got, like 3 or 4 engines that you take with you, spare parts in case you crash.
Yeah, you usually keep 2 engines, 2 turbines. We'll take a total of 3. One's already in the boat, and then 2 in there in the truck. 4, gearboxes, and all the tools and tool cabinets and radios, and it's got Jimmy's locker. He keeps these uniforms in.
And Jimmy's the driver.
Yeah, Jimmy Shane. Yeah, he drives the race boat.
I couldn't imagine you would actually need to use all 3 of those engines. What do they take them just in case one blows up, or do they have certain? Are they set up different? One bigger than the other, one stronger?
Yeah, I mean, with the cost, we do. It is hard to keep all the engines to the top level. So we do got preference engines versus smaller engines, but yeah, if they take on any FOD, any debris or anything like that, you know, or they might need to, or something happens, need to do a motor swap, you know, we always, you know, keep extra on hand.
Now, traveling all across the country, I know you see a lot of crazy things, and you go to a lot of different types of race sites. So, are you only running on fresh water, or do you do salt water too?
Salt water too, you
And
know.
does that wreak havoc on the boat?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, salt water's not really one of the most popular things we like to do because you know, after the race there's just so much cleaning. You know, you got to clean that boat from top to bottom. You have to get all that salt out of there, and it could wreak havoc on the gearboxes and the turbines too. So you got to be careful with that. We get special filters we put on to try to limit the amount of salt water goes into the, you know, the intake. But yeah, that salt water. But it produces some good racing though.
Yeah, yeah, it does. What interested you in the sport and got you involved in the first place?
Interest has always been there ever since I was a kid. You know, I remember, I think I was probably 6 or 7 years old. Our uncle Eugene had a motorhome. He camped it down there at the JC Clubhouse down on Bond Drive, down the Madison River, and I got to spend the night with him during the Madison Regatta. You know, and yeah, that was unique. That's probably my earliest memory, and you know, man, I couldn't even tell you, you know, all the memories I got down there during the Madison Regatta. But yeah.
Now, is it just the Madison Regatta? Is it just boats racing on the water, or is it more involved? Do they have other things that you can do? What kind of attractions do they have?
Well, last year I know the Madison Regatta, they had, I guess, a little carnival for kids. They had the Rooster Tail band, you know, set up. They have bands every night of the week. That's just in Madison, outside of the boat racing. You know, you got Gunnersville, Tri-Cities, Seattle, San Diego. You know, they have, you know, bands and fireworks, and yeah, they make a big to-do of it.
So it's a weekend-long event, not just one day like NASCAR.
Right. Yeah.
You was talking about kind of what interested you in your childhood memories, and I remember some of mine going down there. We would take his pickup truck, and they would set up one of them little pop-up tents, and we'd watch from the riverbanks. People like Chip Hanauer, Dave Ilwalk, Mike Hansen, some of the older drivers. I would crawl up in the back of that truck. He had a camper shell on the back of it, and that glass would come down in the front. And when you're 5, 6 years old, your imagination runs wild. That was just as good as a canopy closing for me. I'd get in the back of that truck and act like I was racing. And then when the race boats got out there, back in the early days in the 90s, Madison didn't really have a good track record of winning races. They didn't have the sponsorship that they needed and the money that they do today to be as competitive as they are now.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that makes it more special is that aspect of it, because we can remember a time that the only race, you know, that they, you know, could raise money for is just to race Madison, and that's where the people of Madison would step in, you know, and sponsor money, or you know, they'd give money to, you know, see to it that that boat race at Madison, it may not race in any other race, and you know, funds were tight back then. So that, and the fact that, you know, that helped keep going, and Madison race team is the only race team in the circuit that has raced every year since it's been founded.
I believe they're the only ones that's community owned as well.
Yeah.
Some of the sponsors that we've had over the years, just the ones that I can remember, are like Jasper Engines, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, DeWalt Tools. One year it was just solid white and it had black letters on it that said Miss Madison, so they didn't have a sponsor that year. Then we had Oh Boy Oberto, and that's when they got the new boat built. It was what was it, the 2007 Hulk?
Yeah, 2007.
And they started dominating, for lack of a better term. Won the Gold Cup. I'll kind of touch base on the Gold Cup here in a little bit, what that is. But that's when the citizens of Madison really became proud, I think. and really got behind the team. I mean, they were always behind you guys, but now it's unbelievable what Madison thinks of that team. When you're on the road, do you get recognized by fans, or do people come up to you with questions like, what is that?
That's the best part about doing it. That is the most fun, cruising across country when you stop, some of these truck stops, stuff like that. You'll meet people from all over the country wondering, what in the world is this thing? Or I've seen this. I remember watching Budweiser, Winston Eagle, and you hear all kinds of stories like that. Oh yeah, I met Bernie Little and he did this for me. Or, yeah, that's the best part. Probably the craziest thing, and this all happened within an hour of each other. I think it was in Rapid City, North Dakota or South Dakota. We stopped at a hotel, and the funny thing about it is our cousin Kevin Davis was driving the red truck. Well, we was stopping in a hotel, and he's up in there trying to figure out how we're going to get this boat to this hotel. So, we're a little bit aggravated. I had to stay out on the road, and, I jump out of the truck, and this couple from Madison was there with their kids. And, yeah, they come running down. Oh, my God, and she's shooting video of it. And she, oh, my God, it's the Miss Madison, And, she come down and started rubbing. I had to change myself just like that and drop of a hat, It's like, how you doing? And, we shot some video, and I answered some questions for them and let the kids see the boat. And I think I actually gave one of the kids my hat that, I had. He was really excited about that. And we get up in the hotel, and then long and behold, I had the mayor of Gunnersville was there with her family. She comes up and started talking with her. I was like, man, this is pretty neat. Yeah, I've had people at truck stops, and they had to sit there and, the biggest question they answer is, how many fish have you caught off this thing?
Oh, wow.
I was like, you catch them with a pole, we blow them out of the water.
I remember my first trip with the team was to Gunnersville, Alabama. I want to say that was 2019. I could be wrong. But
yeah, it was 2019.
We stayed at a hotel, and we got lucky enough that the hotel room that we had, the window was overlooking where you park the truck and the boat. Mm-hmm. And this was before the races. And it wouldn't be any big deal to look out the window at any given time and see 10 or 11 people standing around that boat and that truck and just drooling all over themselves in amazement at what they're looking at. And the little kids, their imaginations are running wild, and they're thinking about when they grow up how they're going to be a race boat driver and they're going to drive for the Miss Madison. And we would go out there in shorts and a regular t-shirt and a pair of sandals and look like nobodies, and we'd stand behind the crowd and just act like we were there to look at the boat too. And they had no idea that we were a part of the team and we were the ones that brought the truck and the boat to that place. And they'd ask questions, and we would start answering as if we were just fans of the sport. And families would, I wonder if anybody would get mad if we set our kid up there, took a picture. And we'd, no, we know those people, they're cool, go ahead. So they'd stick them up there and get their pictures taken. And they about pooped all over themselves when you walked over to the truck and unlocked the door and got those cards out and started handing them out. They were like...
Probably the funniest thing that I'll never forget about that weekend is we get there way too early to the hotel. They didn't even have our rooms ready. So, man, it's Gunnersville, Alabama hot. I mean, it's hot. So we get this brilliant idea. Well, we'll just kill time. We'll go out there and wash the boat in the truck. We got with the hotel maintenance, got water hoses out, and so we started washing this thing. And yeah, we lay the boat down, and man, it's just blistering hot. And I was like, what in the world are we thinking? And then you could tell the rest about that water hose.
So we have this, it's not a pressure washer, but it looks like the wand on a pressure washer. So we hooked it up to the water hose.
He tried harpooning me.
I don't know what was wrong with this thing, but I squeezed the nozzle to relieve the air pressure that's in the hose to get the water to run. And the tip of that nozzle, poof, shot across and darn near took it.
Yeah, I turned around and I got this white thing coming at me. Whoa!
So This isn't on my paper here, but talking about it, you said laying the boat down. I didn't even think to ask that question. What do you mean by that?
When it sits on the trailer, when we're driving down the road, whatever, it sits on tilt. We got it strapped down to the trailer, and when you lay it down, it's basically a hydraulic, cylinder, and it just lays the boat down, to where it's flat, not on tilt.
And what's the reason for that? Is it too wide, or?
It'd be too wide to drive down the road. Basically puts it within legal limits of being,
Within the lane?
Yeah, within the lane.
I got you.
That's the reason we, when it's on tilt too, we got the uprisers. You can't have the wing on it neither, because it'd be too wide.
Right. I know you've covered some of this already, but what is some of your fondest memories so far being on the team?
Oh man, well, 2019 was good. When it was the first time you and I going down to Gunnersville. I'd have to say probably 2021 was probably, by Madison Regatta was probably by far my fondest memory. There's a lot of reasons. It's personal. None outside the fact that we won the Gold Cup, but just everything leading up to that. With we're just fresh and finding out of April's cancer, and everything that she's going to be going through. Having her come down there and got to ride the parade with April. She rode the truck with me during the parade. I think he was on the boat with True. And just everything about that and everything that was going on, through the weekend. I think 2021 was my favorite. Winning the Gold Cup. Earlier that year, I sit down with the driver, Jimmy Shane, and he made April a video, telling her that everybody in the team's thinking about her, and that we was going to come to Madison, we was going to win the Gold Cup for her. And yeah, that meant a lot, that he would do that for us. And
That meant a lot to me too. And it's hard for me to keep a straight face and keep composed without tearing up on this one. But so my wife has stage 4 cervical cancer. She's been fighting and doing her hardest to be here for us. Stay here with us as long as she can. And she's starting to struggle, but not getting too much into that. That year, 2021, like James was saying, Jimmy made a video for her. And for him and I, being around Jimmy Shane, being around some of these people, when you go to any given race site, there's 100,000 or more people there, and they're all just chanting and screaming their names. I mean, they are big time celebrities in racing, just like you would see in NASCAR. And for him to take the time to make that video for her, she's not around that and exposed to that as much as we are. And she watched that video and she was jumping up and down in the living room. I'm gonna curse here a little bit, but she starts hooping and hollering. Our daughter True comes running down the hallway to see what's wrong, and she's like, Jimmy Shane sent me a video. He's talking about me. He's talking to me. And our daughter didn't understand. She's like, what are you talking about? April looks at her and goes, the fucking driver. But Jimmy said, hey April, it's Jimmy, driver. You won Miss Madison. We're gonna win the Gold Cup for you this year, and we're gonna do it in your memory.
good.
Hey April, Jimmy Shane here, your driver, Miss Madison race team. Just want to let you know that we're all thinking about you, and we want you to get through all this that you're going through. We heard you just went through your first round of chemo, so we're thinking about you. We care about you. We're gonna go out there and try to win this year, and we'll try to do it for you. So stay strong, stay tough, and we're here for you, whatever you need.
And as touching as that was, the part that got me the most was when we was down there on that dock. Of course, it's emotional anyway. When two brothers are fans their entire life, and now they're on a team, and that team wins the Gold Cup, and it's such a big deal that that in itself is a tearjerker. He's so excited, he's jumping up and down. The doc is kind of doing this number. And he goes to give me a hug, and I don't have my sea legs on me. So I'm kind of doing this. And he grabs a hold of me, and I about fall. I thought I was going to go into the water. And he's patting me on the back, and he's like, we won, we won. And I almost turned into an emotional wreck over that. But what got me the most, I don't know if you heard him say it or if he was nearby or what, but when Jimmy gets out, 100,000 people are yelling and screaming and chanting his name and rooting for him. He gets off that boat, and he has a tradition where he comes up and he hugs everybody. And I couldn't have done this without you guys. And he'll go to the next person. I couldn't have done this if you weren't my prop guy. He gets to me, and I think I'm holding a, for lack of a better term, like a broom handle that's got a sponge on the end of it. I'm keeping the boat from hitting the dock until we can get the slings on it to get the crane to get it out of the water. So I'm holding it away from the dock, and he comes up to me and he gives me a hug, and when he whispers into my ear, I couldn't give him a response. He said, I didn't think he was going to remember, but he remembered the video and the promise that he made to my wife. He said, I told you I was going to win, and I'm glad I could keep my promise. That, not necessarily coming from a person of his caliber, but just that he remembered when he has so much else going on. That really impressed me, and that's when he became family. We've been doing a lot of talking of the Gold Cup. What is the Gold Cup, for the people that don't know?
I'm surprised that more people don't know about the Gold Cup. The Gold Cup is the oldest acting trophy in all, no matter if it's NASCAR, IndyCar, it's older in all of any motorsports. It's over 100 years old now, and and APBA, American Powerboat Association, is in control of it, and that I can't even put into words what it means to win the Gold Cup. I mean, there's people that's still in boat racing today. Well, I've only been doing it since 2018, the last race of 2018 at that, and there's people that's still in boat racing on different teams today that has never won that Gold Cup. So to win that is like, a NASCAR driver win the Daytona 500 or an IndyCar driver win the Indy 500. So yeah, it's the oldest acting trophy, and we've been fortunate enough to win it twice now.
Wow.
Just you and I. I
Right.
think Madison's won it like 6 times.
Yeah, 1978, 76 or 78, I can't remember the year. They won it for the first time, and they actually made that movie, Madison.
No, it was in 71.
Was it in 71?
Yeah.
And they made a movie about it, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the guy from, what is it? Star Wars? No, the kid from Star Wars is in it.
Yeah.
I can't remember that other guy's name.
There's so much to this type of racing and the APBA and the H1 Unlimited circuit that we haven't even barely scratched the surface. But is there anything that you could think of that we didn't cover that's probably important that we get out to the viewers?
No, I mean, all the information's out there. I mean, I know I'm even lucky, really, that I'm even doing it. I was just at the right place at the right time. I was just there, and they needed a truck driver. Basically, what happened is, Roger Snell, our uncle, was pit chairman. He's on the Madison Regatta board, and he came to me one day and asked, "Hey, you want to volunteer? Work the Madison Regatta?" I told him the only way I'd do it is if I worked the pits, be around them boats, and at the time they had enough help. They was like, "I don't know, we need help here." And I was like, "Nah, I'm not interested." I was like, I want to be down there to have a good time. For me to, if you want my help, I want to work the pits. So I worked the pits. Well, throughout the weekend, little birdie kept coming to my shoulder and telling me, "Hey, they need a truck driver. They need a truck driver." And I'm a truck driver by trade. That's my job. It's what I do. I drive trucks. And And I was in a position when I heard that, I was like, I could do that, you know. So it took a while. I went to the team. Harry, I heard you needed a truck driver to go to San Diego that year, and they was like, yes. I gave my name and number. Well, I didn't hear nothing for a couple of weeks, and so I got a hold of Mark Hooten on Facebook Messenger, and he, you know, gave me Charlie's phone number. So I called him and left Charlie's number, and I called him like 3 or 4 times. Didn't get a hold of him. Didn't respond back. And finally, I get a hold of him, and then I meet up with him at the shop and talked to me. He met me, and I guess he done some asking around. But you know, it was like a week later after that, I'm on the road heading to San Diego, and that started it all. So I was just the right place at the right time. I was able to put myself out there, and I wouldn't, you know, when I started doing that, I would have never thought that, you know, after working the Madison Regatta in 2018, that by the end of the year, I'll be driving the Miss Madison race boat to San Diego.
Right.
So that was pretty neat. Yeah. Another thing about the 2019 race season that was kind of unique was the fact that we didn't bring our new hull. We got Miss Madison Racing has 2 hulls. We got our 07 hull and our 2018 hull, which is a new one. Well, at the time, you know, because of COVID and, you know, sponsorships and, you know, the money, we decided, and we wasn't too sure about how the progression of the rest of the season, what the points were going to look like. So we brought the 2007 hull, which was already painted up with our second sponsor, Goodman Real Estate. So we just slapped a Home Street logo on there and ran it as a Home Street Bank presents
Miss Home Street or Home.
Goodman Real Estate presents Miss Home Street, and we slapped the U1 stickers on there, and I think a lot of people in Madison didn't understand that concept. You know, they didn't understand why didn't we bring our new boat. Well, they didn't understand that just because it's a 2007 hull, that thing is still fast. That thing has won us a lot of races. And to come down and, you know, a lot of the negativity that was, you know, presented to us, that we was able to overcome that and say, hey, look what this boat can do. We won the Go Cup. I think we won every heat race we was in that boat.
Yeah, I believe you did.
Yeah.
I remember the driver Jimmy telling me one time that even though the new boat is very fast, it's set up so good, he actually prefers to drive the 2007 hull because it's a driver's boat. The other one's more like a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Going around them corners, and he just feels like he's out there on a Sunday cruise. He said that the 2007 hull is actually set up for tighter turns, so it's actually a little bit quicker because it's how fast you can get through that turn.
Right.
Not necessarily what your top speed is. So, yeah, I think the people of Madison need to remember, just because it's old doesn't mean that it's worn out and had its better days.
Yeah.
I think its better days are still ahead of us.
Oh yeah, the thing's fast.
So. All right, well, I guess we'll cut the video here, and next time he comes into town, maybe when the racing starts up, we'll get some more videos for you and get them out there. Thanks for watching. Are you ready, or you need a few minutes?
I don't know. Guess we'll just see what happens. We can do a test run if you want.
Yeah, we can do that. I think you're all the way in the video. A little bit. Strap is kind of cutting off my view of you.
Or we can make a run and see how it turns out, and we can improve upon that.
Well, I can cut out a lot of the hiccups.
Yeah.